All right. So my name's Peter Stoltzman, and
Hey, I'm
pianist.
Solomon Chapman.
uh, yeah, I'm pianist educator from living in Denver. Lived all over the place, and this is episode 2 here um, of what we're calling Gospel Meets Jazz. Solomon, why don't you give a little background too?
Yeah, Solomon Jawan Chapman Sr. and born and raised in Denver. Been here my whole life. I've done some traveling, but I've only lived in Denver. Pianist, composer, educator, lover of music. That's who I am.
That's beautiful. All right. Um, so uh, our intention here is to like bridge kind of the gospel and the jazz world. um, and both of us in our own ways already do that in our
Yeah,
playing and in what we check out musically. Um, uh, but but still, as you know, as we talked about in that first episode, there, we wind up, to lesser or greater degrees, kind of siloed in our own kind of jazz world and gospel world. And a lot of that's just, I mean, I think kind of professional necessity, because that's where you got your gigs, and jazz
right.
world's where I got my gigs.
Yeah.
And like, and there might be times when we would overlap in those gigs. And I think in particular, you coming into the jazz world and playing jazz gigs, you
Hmm.
know, um, I've had like opportunity presented to me once or twice to get a church gig and play gospel music, but my schedule has always been a little bit of too much of a hassle
Yeah,
because of my teaching and my gigging.
you wear
Um,
a lot of hats. So,
yeah, and to be able to be like, oh, cool, I can be there on Wednesday night for rehearsal, and every Sunday from whatever to whatever.
yeah.
Um, it oftentimes it just doesn't work with my schedule. So as much as I would love, it's really my dream, honestly, to play in a killing gospel church band.
You would change the game, sir. I'm telling
No,
you.
no, I just want to fit in, man. I just want to like, I just want to like be in the band for a minute and
Yeah,
feel what that's like, man.
yeah,
Um, but I have like dreams of creating music and a band that kind of bridges these musical styles and whatnot, kind of in the vein that's already been done by some artists and some bands. I think Snarky Puppy is probably the most uh, relevant example, like off the top of my head
yeah,
recently,
yeah.
that's done that. Um,
I
and
agree.
and there's a band in Nashville called Dynamo that's doing that.
Dynamo. Okay.
Yeah, they're cool, man. They're kind of like Snarky Puppy light,
Ah.
and maybe a little more like religious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, but really cool band as well. And
There's also like Four Corners.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if you've heard of them. Now
Mm-mm.
they sound like gospel cats who are like, yeah, we're gonna do some jazz, but there's
Oh.
still a great deal of like gospel arrangements and stuff.
Mm,
That's a thing. I
I got to
wonder
check that
if
out. Four
Funky
Corners.
Knuckles would fit under that category.
Oh, yeah. I think you did. You mention that last time, or maybe you just
Nah,
told me about that before.
yeah,
Funky
I
Knuckles.
just
I got to
wonder.
check
I
that
don't
out.
know too much about. I think his name's Brandon Coleman, the keys player
Okay.
for that situation, or he was. But yeah, there's some stuff out there.
Okay. I think we should put it on our agenda to check out some of these bands and
Yeah,
artists who are doing that. We've got a list that we're going to include in our description from the first video when we post it,
right.
of all this music that gives us hope, and a lot of that I think uh, is exactly what we're talking about. Um, so yeah, it would be fun to just keep diving into that stuff. Today, the intention was, I think, to kind of explore music that we've been checking out. quote
Ooh, I've
unquote,
been waiting
right?
on this. Yes.
All
Yes.
right, just make sure we're on the same page.
Yes.
And so what did you bring, man?
Yo,
I got a list.
yeah, where do you want to start? No, I brought this jazz tune by this bassist and composer Milt Hinton
Uh-huh.
entitled Mona's Feeling Lonely. And there's this record with Sullivan Fortner, Matt Wilson on drums, and Pete Coco, I think that's how you say his name, on bass. And they covered the tune. And, admittedly, I only listened to the record because I was like, oh, Sullivan's on this. Let me check out what he's doing in a trio setting.
Hmm.
And this piece like completely blew me away. It's one of my like top 5 jazz solos of all time.
Oh wow.
Period. Um, but not. I mean, I wouldn't expect everyone to feel that way, but for what I'm going for in my sound, this sort of embodies like that direction. And I remember like years ago talking to Dave Devine, and he said, "Yeah, my teachers told me, don't play what they played, seek what they sought." And so I've
Mm,
been trying to like embody,
mm,
okay, what is it that he's going for?
mm,
How am I interpreting that sound? And then how can I create my own version of that?
mm.
So
I love that, man.
I think,
Dave's always passing down the wisdom.
dude, he's a vibe all in himself. He's so cool. I love just talking about like SNL links with him, like comedy stuff. He's deep. He's deep.
Yeah, I really appreciate by the way, for those of you who don't know, Dave Devine is a guitarist, and he's played in Brian Blade Fellowship, and it has done some more on the kind of rock side as well as jazz, and teaches. It's one of the main teachers at Metropolitan State University, which is where you went to school, and also taught, and then yeah, Dave. I really appreciate that Dave's always like checking out music and
Yeah.
lineages of music, and like really teaching, and also like choosing repertoire based on like lineages of music,
Right.
not just like what's fresh or
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
So,
big on lineage. He's big on threads. He's big on being studious about the music that you play
mhm.
and then personalizing it at the same time.
Just a full transparency, like that's always been, I think, kind of a weakness of mine, honestly. It's like I've been more interested in what's personal for me,
Yeah.
and what's fresh, than getting deep and deep into the lineages. And
Mm,
over the years, of course, I'm 43, so over the years I've absorbed and gone deeper into lineages, but I'm not like I haven't been like a spongy kind of avid listener, as some of my jazz friends are.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so that's part of my like intention here, that's very selfish, honestly, is just to like keep this process of like getting into music and like getting exposed to new things from you,
Oh,
and being in that process of like social listening and exploring music together.
right. Well, I I also identify with that what I would call insecurity about maybe not spending enough time digging into how things connect. I sort of like, oh, I like this, so I'm just gonna go down that rabbit hole, not realizing that it's connected to the tradition, it's connected to history and stuff. And one of the challenges that I sort of encountered was being around people like Dave. I had to separate, okay, Dave's the musician, but then Dave's also the college professor,
Mm, mm,
and so Dave has this unique way of breaking stuff down in a way that is super appropriate for like collegiate audiences. Um, but because I was exposed to that and feeling like, oh, that's the only way to do it, it was as if, okay, well, I have to separate, okay, Dave's the musician, but then Dave's also the college professor, and so oh, if I go down that rabbit hole, I can't, either I know it like Dave knows it or I don't know it all. It's a
mm,
really weird thing where I
mm-hmm,
have to break it down on a lecture like level or I don't know it at all. And it's like, just do what he did, seek what he sought. All
mm,
he's seeking is to understand deeper, not to sound smart to other people, not to be pretentious at all, because I don't get that vibe. It's
sure,
deeper than that. I like this
yeah,
so much that I just want to find the connectors. So
yeah,
that's certainly a challenge of mine and a goal of mine. In this as well, I think there's something beautiful about getting, like, be 100% yourself, be in your bubble, right? And then get out of it and expose yourself to other perspectives. So be deep in you and then have conversations like this where
mm, mm,
folks are listening to stuff that's not even close to your radar.
mm,
But then now that you've been exposed to not only this musical perspective, but this life perspective, undoubtedly is going to shape how you see things now. It's going to shape your paradigm. Your paradigm is a little more open now
mm,
because you were exposed to something else, that's something someone else shared. It's my
mm-hmm,
2 cents on it. So
mm-hmm,
it takes the pressure off of me to be able to explain everything I like on a lecture like level.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just know what you want to know.
yeah, man, and for me, like one of the things that I have to keep remembering in order to not like feel inadequate all the time is that, like, look, man, everybody had a lineage before them, and
Yeah,
they studied some things and they didn't study other things, and they became who they became,
yeah,
and all they could be was 100% of themselves. They couldn't be 100% of this person and this person and that person, and
you're preaching, man.
and so it's the same for us, and like the pressure of that lineage, just quantity wise, you know as well as all sorts of the diversity that of music and techniques and whatnot that evolves, right,
Yeah,
over time. Think about the difference between somebody in 1950 studying jazz versus us now, 70 years of further history and
let me
lineages,
interrupt you.
right? Yeah.
That's exactly the question I was going to ask you. Like, honest to God, like, yo, do you think it's hard to be a jazz musician in 2021,
Hell yeah.
given all that has come before us? And then we have to be that much more focused on like what our aesthetic's going to be.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I think like it's a very double edged, honestly, it's not even two sides. It's like a multi-layered, you know, sword.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right analogy is, but it, uh, on one side, like, you have this giant obligation and responsibility to like actually try to expand your understanding and your knowledge of lineages, of histories, and then on the other hand, you have this great freedom that has emerged from the point of like, um, what is this called? I mean, I guess for lack of a fancier word, expansion,
Yeah.
that we've had off of the root, the trunk of the tree, right? And now it's like we got branches going way out in every direction in
Yes.
jazz, and so um, there is no like trunk that you absolutely have to be near. You can exist on any one of these branches, and you can be a bird and fly from one to the next, right?
Yeah.
There's just
Be a bird. I like
yeah, I think it's harder though to find um like a distinct voice, and make it really strong,
that.
and
Yeah.
turn it into something that's worthwhile for other people to spend their time checking out,
Yeah.
because it's just like it's so easy to get lost in the weeds, uh or in the the tree canopy, if you will,
Right.
like
Right.
flying from one branch to the next and being like, well, this is cool and that's cool. And oh my God, there's so much to work on here. And you get sucked down a thing and you're working on it. And, you're
Right.
trying to get some, you know, weatherbird rag or whatever, and, 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 it's like a couple of months go by of like just trying to figure out how to make your hands do something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's, I mean, that's, I don't know, it's beautiful if you can get out of your like ego journey of it, right, and your judgment of it, and like and your that like self-doubt, and just be in this like lifelong process of learning and exploring music. It's
Right.
really beautiful. And I appreciate that the musical journey, the musical career journey, is also lifelong. That's beautiful, man.
Right.
My son's a dancer, and I often think about like, that's rough, man. he's he's got like, it's like an athlete. You got like, he's
Yes.
13, he's got like 20 more years of prime time maybe,
Mm.
and then like all he can do is teach probably, or I mean, he could do some stuff, but it's not going to be like prime level, right? Because you work your body so hard and that's it. For
Right.
us, our instruments are external, and so uh, or voice, most of the time vocalists
Yeah.
can keep going, and their voice matures and ages in cool ways, and we can keep playing these instruments until we're dead.
Straight up. Even
We
with arthritis.
Yeah, we may lose some
So,
chops.
we'll
Well,
lose some time.
everybody loses some chops, but like, but for real, like I always, I mean, I still feel like I'm getting better as a musician. I'm
Me
learning
too.
more, and yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm 43. So
I'm not
that's
43, but
that's
I
a cool
feel that
feeling.
same thing. I can't
did
say
you
me too right there.
did you hit 30 yet?
No.
Where are you? What old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, 27, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We working
All
it
right.
out.
You were born in the 90s.
I was born in 93.
What?
Yeah. What year did you graduate high school?
95.
Let's let that sink in a moment.
Look, baby Solomon is just still still on his mother's teat when I graduated high school.
Oh man. I was thinking about how like that takes the pressure off me, knowing that I do have the rest of my life
Hmm.
to like figure things out and to grow. So like don't squander the growth opportunities now, but like live 100% in the present. And that's been another challenge.
Mm. Yeah,
Any
yeah.
for any gig I'm preparing for any gig that I'm playing, I'm constantly like overthinking, what don't I know?
Hmm.
Why, what are the things that could make me better as opposed to just like being enough for that situation?
Mm.
And so I get too preoccupied with what I feel I'm not and what I feel I still need to know that I end up losing the opportunity to capitalize on like what's before me. If I'm playing a funk gig and I got 2 weeks to prepare, all I have to worry about is just immersing myself in the songs on the set list, really getting deep into that and forming a great personal relationship with that.
Mm.
And then after that gig, if I don't have any funk gigs for a while and I don't naturally have an affinity for that, well, then I can let it go. But I'm still that much better as a musician because I was present to be the best version of myself
Mm.
for that situation, which is a very timely example because I'm playing a funk gig on Saturday.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's
What's the
kind of the
band?
space I'm at. Yeah.
What band are you playing with?
Stafford Hunter.
Oh, cool. You guys doing
Yeah.
funk?
He's doing like funk explorations
Nice. You doing Herbie
with
stuff?
some Herbie, some Freddie Hubbard stuff
Great.
with Gizzy. I believe Gizzy is
That's
on the gig.
awesome.
And so this will be my first time playing with him. I'm super excited for that. I'm gonna have my notepad out the whole time. I'm a comp, but be listening. It's like, Gizzy, what are you doing? Stafford's great. Matt Campbell, you know Matt?
No.
Matt Campbell on drums and Will Gaines on bass.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's gonna be a situation. So
Yes. That's
I'm
great,
honored
man.
to be on the guest list
Oh
on
man, I
stage.
want to be up there with you. We need
Ooh.
we need two keys for a lot of that stuff, man.
Some of this stuff has two keyboards.
Yeah, we need some
And I
like some funky clav going while
yeah,
we got the Rhodes and the
yeah,
string pads and
straight up.
the mini moog. I'll get my mini moog cleaned up and bring it up.
Well, wear a hazmat suit and come to the gig. So then you can
That's the
sit right
only
next.
way I could get up on stage with you,
Yeah.
man. I think they got a limit on the stage. Oh,
Right.
that's great. That's really cool. I'm glad you're doing that. So let's let's dig into some music and
Okay.
let's limit our time.
Yes.
So I got 10:36 on my clock. Let's do like listening for
15.
whatever 3-4 minutes, and then
Yeah.
let's spend yeah like 10 maybe 15 minutes exploring something about that music, and then we'll flip.
Perfect.
Okay, you went first last time, so why don't I'll go first this time.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I brought Javi Santiago, his record Phoenix. This is from I think 2018. He released this
Okay.
on None Such. I
Nice.
think it's None Such. Or oh wait, Rope a Dope. Sorry. Rope a Dope Records.
Okay.
Um, uh, and it's got all sorts of killing cats on it. So many killing cats. Javi's, um, I think he's probably about your age, mid
Mm.
mid late 20s, um, and he's from Minneapolis, and also the son of musicians, and um, he I think he's still he moved to the Bay Area to San Francisco ish, and has been living there for a few years, and I think he's still there. I haven't been in touch with him recently, so I'm not totally sure. But yeah, really
He plays
killing
keys.
cat, man. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Um, you know, he's gotten himself to the level where he's got a good record deal, so that's cool.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite gotten the like national slash international recognition that I feel like he really deserves. Um, but maybe at some point. So let's just listen to like the first two minutes of this. I'm just gonna uh, play. We'll hear the intro, and then when the melody comes in, we'll hear the first few iterations of the melody, and that's enough for.
Okay.
Is that coming through? Is that sound coming through for you?
Yes.
Okay,
Was that
great.
the intro?
Yeah, that's it. That's right at the top.
Okay.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's the idea. it's it's really fun, right?
I can live there all day. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
We're breaking up a little bit. Sorry. Let me do
okay.
stop share. See if that helps. Um, so one of the things I love about this that I think is like really it's a modern jazz staple now. Is this oh, let me see, flip the view. I just realized I haven't been on gallery view. That's my bad. And let's see. Okay, so there's the once that melody comes in, it's like it's a diatonic melody, right? Something like that. I forget exactly what it is. It's something like that, right? So he's got one spot of non-diatonic right there, right? But this this is all diatonic, right? But then the chord progression is highly chromatic and interesting. So it starts out with this like 5 and then 3 thing, and I didn't transcribe the melody part. The rhythm of it is really like offset, right? It would be fun to transcribe that rhythm, but we don't really have the time for that right now. But this like basically power chord with the 4th, the sus power chord, right? And then we got the bass moving, B, D, E flat, and E. 5 on B, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and that's the intro, right, which is pretty hip. Then when we get into the melody, I haven't transcribed it, so I'm actually not even sure. You're hearing it. What's that first chord?
Like C minor 7 flat 5.
Oh, yeah, nice. Okay,
that's my favorite chord in all
there
of
it is.
chords. So
yeah. So then this is sus, right?
Yeah.
It's like a, I guess it's a D major 7 flat 5, 11, however you want to call it. Right?
I don't remember the chords.
It's got that 9 in there really strong, right? I don't even know if that sharp 11's in there.
Oh, are you playing it?
Sounds like that to me. Like this kind of
now you were playing it, but I couldn't hear it.
Oh, you can't. Oh, yeah, because I stopped the share. Oh, darn it. Let me get that. Here, I'm going to do it like this. And where we have the overhead and the shared sound.
I love it.
Sorry. Okay. So we got our C. Coming up right here. Love that. And then
I'm hearing A, like an A major 7 or something.
Oh, nice. Over D, right?
No,
just A in the bass. I think it's D in the bass right there.
Is it D?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, the melody is G sharp, right? So it definitely has that sharp 11 on top. I think this is a pretty good voice.
I thought for some reason I heard the bass going, but I might be totally off.
I think then we get the B flat. That's it. And that's like a really straight D over C right there, right? I don't even know that there's a major 7 in there. I think it's like, yeah. I don't even know that he plays an E. I don't know. So. And yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then it recycles. So we get like E flat, sus, C flat major, and then B major. And then that leads us back into the cycle right there. It's great chord progression and really cool, when you start thinking about like why choose those chords, and also just like what they do in terms of the changing colors underneath a diatonic melody.
Right.
So like really we're in E flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the melody's like E flat minor all the way, basically. Yeah. And then so we're going to that 6, the like natural 6 as the harmony under this. I love thinking about when I'm playing a minor 7 flat 5, thinking melodically with the flat 3 minor. Right? That's like a lot of my thinking on a minor 7 flat 5 in general. So it just fits right in. Woo! And then to that, like, there's something really cool about that move from a minor 7 flat 5 up a half step to a sus. And for me, this is just one of those things that's like put it in my labeled, organized boxes of tools that goes in my warehouse.
I love that. Yeah.
I know there's like a, Anomaly?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So there's an Anomaly track that does that same thing. It's like a minor 7. I think it's this to this, a B flat minor 7 flat 5 to an A over B.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we could come up with a bunch of other examples if we looked for them of this very modern type of sound, right?
Yeah. So for me,
go
I'm
ahead.
thinking that this soundscape, this collection of chords is amazing. And the dot you connected between the diatonic melody and then chords that are outside of the key, like brilliant. But now I'm thinking each one of these chords has their own like realm of movement that can happen. You know what I mean? So, and this is more of like a voicing consideration. So, for the first 2 chords, what are some voicings that you're hearing? What are some ways in which you would move to keep this to make sure it's not static there, going from here to here? Like if we had to live here for 4 measures, what would you do voicing wise to keep that fresh? And then going here. Does that make sense? And I'll start off.
What would you do? Yeah.
My pet One
Mm-hmm.
of the things I do over this chord, okay, it's basically another way to look at it is E flat minor
Yep.
over C.
Yep. And
So
then
then
doing
what
the
I'll do is
five.
play
Yep.
the five to mine.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing to do.
Yes. Ooh, I like how you're doing that. Are are you putting in
Yeah.
a seven there or anything? Are you just
No,
doing B flat major? That was it?
that's it.
Oh,
That
cool.
was it.
It sounds. I guess it's because it's over this that it sounds so. Yeah. This is the triad pair thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Woo! I love those.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then that can be used as improvisation material too, right? Woo! I love those.
Please
Um,
post this video soon.
yeah, man. You could even take that to like diminished, right? Like a B flat. These guys, right? Whoops, wouldn't want a seven on that.
Oh, for
These guys.
sure. Something like that.
Yeah, man. Woo! I love how you just did that. Were you just walking down?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I gotta improve my fluency with that. Um, yeah.
Now, with the second chord, what would it do?
Right. Second chord. So sus, like,
Yeah.
there's so many possibilities with sus, which is part of the reason I love sus's. Um, with sus more than any other chord, probably I love the uh, parallel parallel substitution. So, or not substitution so much as superimposition, right? It's just
Mm.
superimposing a parallel sus chord, whether that's a half step up, half step down, minor third, major, minor thirds, whole steps, major thirds, um, the tritone sometimes, just and then also like the sus, you can resolve the sus and then bring it back to sus, right? Uh,
Yeah, demonstrate that. I don't know what you mean by that.
okay. So parallel first, right? So we got this, right? Half step down, major, minor third, major third. Major third's weird. Major third's always a weird one. Minor thirds are cooler, but there are times when major thirds are cool. I like major thirds with minor, so superimposing a major third away with a minor jam. But anyway, I digress. I tangent. Um, okay, so then resolving the sus and then bringing it back,
Oh,
right? Even even going through the progression that it would not maybe naturally do, like a sus to a dominant altered resolve. In this case, C sharp sus, C sharp dominant altered, F sharp minor, and then back, or A flat or G sharp, diminished or something, dominant, and then back. Right? So you can go through a whole progression, right?
do that one more time.
Etc. Right?
Oh, you did.
and the F sharp minor 9.
Oof.
Yeah, and then like G sharp 13 with the flat 9,
Okay.
sharp 11 maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And
See.
anytime you want, put in a parallel sus chord instead of a functional harmony, and
Yeah.
then you get like the mixing of the two, right? Right? Put in a D sus and then get back,
Sir, you can't see
etc.
my face, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I never want to feel, and this is just me imposing my own philosophy. I never want to feel like I'm stuck with only
Mm.
one or two voicings for a given chord. I want to feel like
Mm.
each space has a million different possibilities, and I'm comfortable enough to, with prudence and wisdom, know when to navigate being conservative and then when to jump out and do something that grabs your ear and then takes you back to that space. So
Yeah, yeah. Getting into like how to voice different voicing possibilities on a chord, which
yeah,
is kind of where you originated actually with that question. I tangented us from there. Sorry,
it
but
was a beautiful tangent.
but like that's a whole other can of worms, right?
Yeah.
And I think we talked a little bit around this in the first episode, which like for me that the melodic aspect, the top note aspect is so important all the time, right? Are we trying to hold like an E flat minor melodic aspect here?
Yeah.
Um, right? It like trying to stay in the voice because that's going to make a big difference. Or uh, well, even okay. I was going to say like, or we could be more chromatic, or we could use like notes that are specific to the chords that we're on,
Yeah.
right, as melodies, because there are some other notes in those, like right, like oh no, that not that one. Sorry, what am I trying to do? I guess that's actually in. That's still in, isn't it? Uh, Yeah, no, that's still in. That's still in E
Oh, I
flat
see.
minor. When we get to D major, then we have notes that are out, right?
Yeah.
Like that one, right? Or so anyway, there are choices that you have to make about are you trying to keep that melody diatonic, especially in this context, right? To
Right.
E flat minor, or are we going to expand it out? And then also then you have like shaped questions, which are textural questions, right? So you want like your typical voicings, right, and just play some nice thick voicings, or do you want to do uh, spread out voicings, or this guy, you can do this kind of thing if you want some sparkly shit.
Right.
These guys, right? That kind of thing, right? And we talked about these, I think, in the first one too, right? Where I like to do like a wide interval and a short interval, and then I got like a short interval and a wide interval. It just gives you like spread, sparkliness. Or you want to go, maybe your standard voicings in your right hand, but then you have like,
Yes.
your upper structure triads, right, etc.
Yep. That's my jam right there. That's
Yeah, man.
normally living, but
Yeah, those are great, right?
love that.
And you get your chordal voicings, etc.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's transition to what you brought.
The
I'm
name
gonna.
of that track was what?
Oh, that's Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix.
That's the title track.
It is the title track. Yep.
Okay.
Javier Santiago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get that in my spirit this week. Uh, are you cool with sharing? Can you do the screen sharing thing for me?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Multiple. There we go.
All right. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Nice. Oh, Matt Wilson, right? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll play like half the head or something like that. Is that cool?
Yep.
Standard AABA. B section.
Woo. Whee!
Sir,
Woo.
that whole solo. Just I was talking to Joe Keel, um, Jocelyn Ford Keel's father. Been
Okay.
hanging out with him a great deal. And we would listen to stuff and we would even listen to recordings of him playing, back in the day. And I'm finding out I like stuff that sounds like a Rubik's cube of some sort. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so of course there's the destination, but then there's like these weird contrapuntal ways of getting to that destination.
Yeah, man.
And for me, I'm not just trying to embody the sound when I play like jazz ballads. Like when I'm in
Mm-hmm.
church, I'm used to playing like blocky type chords to accompany folks while they talk. Super simple. Everything's playing at the same time. So I just want some more like counterpoint. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so right now I feel like I'm providing a caricature of this sound, but I'm going for something, you know.
Mm.
And so this solo just reminds me of where I'm going.
Yeah, and I mean, the context is going to be different in terms of the amount of dissonance and freedom that would be allowed in a
Right.
jazz tune, um, versus like what you want to be playing behind somebody saying something deep and meaningful in church,
Right.
right? You don't
Right.
want to fuck people up too bad.
They're trying to listen there. Just
What do you?
you know. So yeah. So that's Mona's feeling lonely.
Mm,
Yeah. I just figured if we could tackle this one snippet.
I wonder if it's the same one I want.
Let's see.
There's 13625 at the end of I don't know, either the first or the second A, I
Oh,
forget, that I was like, oh, I wanna catch that. He's like,
almost there. Is that what you were talking
I think so.
about? Okay.
Yeah. What is that? What you were gonna do?
No, but
No, what's the
I want to
snippet
do
you want?
this. I do want to do this one.
Uh, let's do the snippet you want.
You sure?
Yeah,
I like this. I
I can
think there's
figure
gonna
that
be
out in
so
a
much
minute.
juice to get out of this one. I'll play what I was thinking, but let's go back to where we're at now.
Woo.
So that's a vibe too. But
Woo. Uh, uh. And then it's a little bit thicker and weirder, right? In a couple of spots.
yeah.
Did you figure this out?
I transcribed it like a while back, so I can't remember everything that happened.
Okay.
But this is the tricky thing about this. Are you playing like block chords right now?
Yeah.
Can we do an aerial view?
Yeah. Just putting it up there. Good. Oh, so the melody's like, at least that's what I remember him playing
Yeah,
right there.
that's it.
So, I mean, if I'm just playing block chords, maybe that. And then maybe like a diminished parallel.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range, right? But then he's
That
like, it's a
feels
little bit thicker. Ooh, yeah.
you know
Yeah, that's nice.
that's
What
mm-hmm.
how did you do this one? Da, da, da. Did you do that? Parallel
Yeah.
diminished? Nice. Ah. Okay. Right. I heard those parallel diminished at some point, and I was putting them there, but I that sounds right. Yeah. What? How are you doing this one? Is it diminished?
I was actually just keeping
Okay. So he's
right.
cool. I love this. Woo. Yeah, this is something. See, now this is like a gospel thing. This parallel diminished thing that I have not incorporated into my jazz thing very much. I do a lot of like uh, chromatic d- chromatic things with diminished. So like if I'm on a 5 chord, like a
Yeah.
G7, right here, I might do, you got this kind of like diminished stuff, right? And then I might, oops, I may go like up a half step, right? Uh, but this like or woo, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It sounds like a big band, like a sax section, like a
Yeah,
brass section.
that's
Uh,
great.
but but here's where it gets interesting. Try to listen to just the left hand.
Yeah, it's not just straight block chords, huh?
No.
Uh, I mean, it's so thick and low. It's really hard. I'd have to give
So
that a very
the
close
same
listen.
way you tackled it, like
Mm,
that's the same way I tackled it
mm,
until I like slowed it down
mm.
painstakingly slow. And this is what I came up with. Ah, something like that.
Mm, mm,
But keep that A flat.
mm-hmm, mm. And how do you do that?
Uh,
Oh, right, right. So you wanted with this for a second, huh? Whew, that's awesome. Mm. And then ta-da. Oh, mm. Yeah, beautiful. Wow. Maybe he's got some other lower notes in there too, don't you think? Like hiding in there
let's see, because I might. So
is because it sounds almost like he's playing a chord and holding in a left hand. Like I think he's doubling the.
okay.
Oh, he's opening it up like this, right? I think
Oh,
maybe he's doing both. You had him going do do, right? Yeah, I
wow.
think that's the lower note for him. Woo, yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know, something like that. Yeah. I'm hearing that in there. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the thing. So the whole solo is like that, where it's kind of genius because
Mm.
the top voice is singable the entire time.
Mm, 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 mm,
And so you feel like everything underneath it is as simple as the thing
is
happening
making
at the
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
top.
And then you dig into it, and you're like, ooh, there's like thick, weird, contrapuntal, like harmonizations that don't really actually make sense for a
No.
second, but they wind up leading somewhere. And I think you said this to me because you talked to Sullivan.
Hmm.
You actually got to talk to him about this, but the way I've always felt since listening to his playing is that like he's he's using his creative imagination and his freedom, um and to like a very high degree of like trusting that he can find his way through pathways that maybe aren't explicit or worked out exactly, right?
You
And that,
hit the nail straight on the head.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
And like this stuff, I mean, maybe he has done this before, right? And maybe he's done an exercise with it. Okay, when I'm doing, a 5-to-1, I go do 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 do, and then so like whatever, I'm gonna go through the etc. Right, and go through the keys, uh but then he's not going like do 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 do, right? He's going like do 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 or what,
Right.
etc. Right, and and so like his creative imagination is always there, even if there's probably like little pieces of these things that are have been worked out as exercises over time.
Man, it's beautiful to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a different headspace to to sort of check out in order to like replicate that same, I don't know, that same, I don't know, energy, that same sound. And
So
and so it's challenging my brain because he talks about melodies. He told somebody else that
mm-mm-mm-mm.
that he was working with, start with two voices, then make it three voices, then go to four voices, five voices. That's where it starts to get tricky and or whatever. But like for me, two voices is like
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to hear
yeah.
two melodies at one time, essentially, as opposed to one melody with like a homophonic,
With yeah,
yeah,
with a
some sort of kind of
harmonization.
homophonic texture. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you practice it, man? I know you don't
I
have a lot of
don't
more
know.
time, but like, can we take a few minutes and
Yeah.
just like you don't know? You don't
No,
have a way that you
yeah,
practice?
I'm still in the thick of this because this particular solo, um, okay, I'll tell you how I practice this. So I was playing a hymn and I was trying to come up with an intro for it, and this is what it was.
Mm,
I'll play one more time.
mm, 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 mm,
So like all there, I'm trying to make these thick, lush voices,
mm.
and now I'm challenging myself. Can I get the same effect with only four voices?
Can we just take a second and acknowledge like how gorgeous what you just played is, and that like, and that if jazz musicians learned how to play like that, as opposed to like just getting their rootless voicings and stopping there, right? And being like,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh yeah, like that's cool, man, but and it's jazz, it's good, but there's so much more to do. And then and these kind of things like I forget where you started with it, but when you're going like,
Yeah.
ooh, uh, can you do it again? I
Yeah.
wanna actually. This is on the. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Um,
Uh.
exactly.
You doing a dominant?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not playing exactly your voicings. I should learn it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like I said,
Okay, keep
four
going.
voices, that same vibe where things are moving, but
Mm-hmm.
not all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Woo. Oh man, that is so nice and so thick.
So then I came up with that, and now it's like performative. It's kind of like an excerpt you
Mm,
would see in a book of like harmonic movements or something.
yeah.
So now I'm breaking down each snippet and making an exercise out of it.
Okay, teach me that one.
So left hand, you're playing the shape of a diminished chord.
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Ah. Uh, etc.
Now what happens?
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is what it was supposed to be.
Okay. Nice. That's even a little bit easier. Okay.
Now, this is where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, and you're coming from a half step low?
Yep,
Okay. And that's it?
that's it.
So you're just going up like that in the right hand?
Exactly.
I love that. I got to see like a context for this now. Where like what chord is this? Where are we leading to?
Oh,
This
that could go plenty of.
is
I
this
mean,
is this C7 flat 9?
uh, yeah,
Cuz
exactly.
we're leading to F minor, right? Or F dominant.
That's right.
Okay.
So right there,
Uh-huh. Okay. And then you're going like down to F minor?
so it's gonna be an F dominant, right? So I
Oh, okay.
decided I'm gonna go approach
Ooh.
the diatones from 3/2 steps above before I actually,
Ooh.
and then right hand
Uh-huh.
and left hand, or not left hand.
Oh. Okay. Uh, da, da, e. Do, ah, shit. No. No. I see. So if we could keep this, probably keep this. Oh shit. C7. I gotta see this as a C7. Love it. You can see it. And then so and then like theoretically we're resolving to F, but we're not quite. We're actually kind of doing a 3625 to F right here, right? Or no,
There to B
6251.
flat. Yeah. Or
6251.
3625.
Oh, 3625 to the B flat. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I love this. 3625 1. What?
Yes.
It is like,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Nice. Ooh.
Oh, there's layers to this thing. If I don't do that in B flat, or I want to go to D flat.
Okay.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Now, Solomon, I know you said you got to take your kid to school at 11:30, and
Yes.
that's like 3 minutes from now. So
Okay.
we better we better pause right here, and maybe we can explore some more of these things.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about like how to practice this in an organized way,
Yeah.
um, and how to implement it in a creative way in the in a tune, right? So like we could take this tune, or we could just take another standard, maybe a more common standard,
Yes.
and just talk about where are these opportunities to throw in layered, you know uh I don't know what we want to call these things.
I call
How do
this
you think of it?
kaleidoscopic counterpoint.
Ooh, kaleidoscopic counterpoint.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I love that, man. Let's write a book.
Kaleidoscopic counterpoint. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I already got some
Kaleidoscopic
exercise.
counterpoint. Wow. And you were talking about also like Rubik's cube.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that image. Ru- Rubik's cube.
Because there's a destination of all the uniform colors on each side.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
ways in which you get there
Yes.
are endless.
Yes. Yes. That's it, man. Destination, and then creativity mixed with structure and
Yes.
patterns. Um, cool. Okay, that's beautiful. That was
Yeah.
really fun, man.
Yeah. I'm glad we were able to make this happen today.
You know what's beautiful about this
What?
is that we are meeting and music is the teacher.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're just studying. We are learning from music together, and from each other, right? But it's about
Yes.
like the music having come through us,
Amen.
right? It's all about music, man. It's very much like God, right?
Yes. You preach it, man. You preach it. All right, sir. Love you,
All right,
man.
man.
I will catch you next time.
Great. Take care.
Bye bye.